Hello, I'm Chris. Welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL. I asked you, my almost 70,000 subscribers, which fragrances in your experience get the most love from the women in your life. Loads of you responded, so I'm going to reveal the top 5 fragrances that women love the most according to you lot, and I've got to say, the number 1 was a bit of a surprise. Stay tuned. There's a little bit of a trend at the moment on YouTube for men wanting to know which fragrances women love the most. I feel like the YouTube algorithm always leans towards those creators that are getting the most views, and as we know, there's a few creators talking about fragrances that women love. So I'm sorry if it's not something that you're interested in, but these are the videos that get the most views, so there seems to be a lot of people out there wanting to see videos like this. If you're not bothered which fragrances women love, then stay tuned, stick around, because you might find the results quite interesting. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you that responded to the question I put out in my community post. I love asking you questions. I find it really useful because I feel like my subscribers are a good mix of people who love niche fragrances, people who love designer, people who love both. So asking you questions gives me a good understanding of what's going on out there in the real world. Let's dive into the fragrance or fragrances at the number 5 spot, because 2 fragrances were tied with exactly the same number of comments of people saying that yes, the women in my life really love these fragrances. The first one I'm going to talk about is one that I actually own, and really glad to see this in here. It's not that much of a surprise because I've heard a lot over the last couple of years of people saying, of men saying, yeah, my wife or my girlfriend or my mum really loves this fragrance. It is Male Le Parfum. Love this stuff. I feel like it's a modernized version of the Male DNA. There's still a little bit of that original Male kicking around in the background, but this one leans more into the vanilla, so it's a little thicker, it's a little sweeter, it smells a little bit more on trend. We've still got a really nice bit of lavender in there from the original DNA, but added into this one, there's a lovely iris note. It's also got a lot of cardamom in here, and I feel like cardamom is one of those spicy notes that's present in so many fragrances that people love, that people get compliments on. Very mass appealing, crowd pleasing types of scents, and that is definitely the case for Male Le Parfum. So it's a warming, spicy scent, very mass appealing. No surprise that this one gets a lot of compliments from the women in people's lives. It's got a lot of things going for it. I get great performance out of this. I find it fairly versatile. This would be great as a clubbing scent or even a casual scent or a date night scent. You can just use it pretty much any situation. Wherever you wear this, people are probably going to enjoy what you smell like, especially the women. The second fragrance that is tied in the number 5 spot is from Prada, and I feel like Prada are doing something right, because there's quite a few Prada fragrances that did get some votes. They didn't end up in the top 5 like the one I'm going to talk about, but Prada Black got quite a few votes, Prada L'Homme Intense. So yeah, Prada are definitely doing the right thing to create mass appealing fragrances that women love. The fragrance that got the most votes from Prada that is tied at the number 5 spot is Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. I don't own this fragrance. I did have a sample a little while back. I've smelled it. I often hear from people that it's a fragrance they love, that they get compliments that their wives or their girlfriends love the fragrance. It's one of those that's very easy on the nose. It does smell pretty similar to Dior Sauvage. I would say it's a smoother, more rounded version, perhaps a little less obnoxious than Dior Sauvage, because that is a pretty loud fragrance, especially if you overspray that EDT. Sauvage is an extremely well-liked smell, particularly with women. It just seems to be one of those really nice, fresh, clean fragrances that women love. So it's no surprise that Prada Luna Rossa Carbon has got so high in the ranking of this one. I just feel like maybe Sauvage sells more than this. I feel like more people would have Sauvage, so I'm surprised that in this list it's the Prada rather than Sauvage, but hey, that's what you guys said, so it's here. If you love fragrance as much as I do, head over to my online store, luxparfum.co.uk. You'll find my favourite brands, plus brands you can't find anywhere else in the UK. Link is in the description. On to number 4, and I am so glad this fragrance is here. I adore it. It's one of my favourite tobacco fragrances, and I would say, out of all the fragrances in this video, this would be my personal favourite. From Xerjoff, it's Naxos. Honey, lavender, tobacco. This is not a heavy fragrance at all, despite the presence of tobacco. It's quite uplifting with the citruses and with the aromatic lavender. Of course, honey gives it a delicious sweetness. Fantastic performance. This one lasts hours and hours. Naxos is just an incredible scent. I love this so much. Slightly surprised that apparently women love this so much, with it being a tobacco scent. Surprised, but pleasantly surprised. It is a niche fragrance, but it's not crazy niche prices. You're looking around £200 for 100ml, but if you shop around you can probably find it a little bit cheaper. I know I got this one cheaper than that, and the cost of this is only a little bit more expensive than the designer fragrance that tops this entire list. The fragrance at number 3 is a beauty. We're staying with niche. This is a heavenly tobacco fragrance that for some stupid reason I don't own yet. Really need to sort that out. I'm talking about Side Effect from Initio Parfums. Prominent notes are vanilla, rum, spices, and tobacco. This is an incredibly powerful, addictive scent. Pretty sweet, but still very attention-grabbing and assertive. Never mind women loving this. I can't imagine anyone in the entire world not enjoying the smell of Initio's Side Effect. So yeah, sadly, I don't own it, but seeing the results of this video have reminded me that I really must get a bottle. Number 2. And this one was another slight surprise, but there were a lot of comments from people saying that their wives or girlfriends loved this smell. From Armath, it's Club de Nuit Intense Man. Most of the comments didn't specify whether they were talking about the EDT, the EDP, or the Parfum, but all of them, of course, are imitating the famous Creed AVENTUS. So it has the pineapple, it has the smoky woods. Slightly surprised this one got so many votes and the real AVENTUS didn't get a sniff in the top 5, but I guess because this one is so affordable, you're looking at maybe around £30–40 for a 100ml bottle, depending on which version you buy. I guess it makes sense that if more people own this fragrance, more people will be getting good comments from women about this fragrance. All versions are good. The EDT is a little bit sharp, a little bit abrasive in the opening, so my preferences would be the EDP or the Parfum. If you wanted to pick this up, I would say Amazon is probably your best bet. Loved by women, many women, according to you guys. All right, time for number 1. Again, a bit of a surprise, this one. It's not even one of the best-selling designer fragrances of all time. It's a flanker to one of the best-selling designer fragrances of all time, Sauvage Elixir. I was very impressed with this fragrance when it was released. I still am very impressed with it. It's got some of that fresh, mass-appealing Sauvage DNA, but it's darker, a bit more complex, spicier, more aromatic, a little more grown up. Fantastic performance, really nicely put together scent. It does that magical thing that companies must love because it's complex and interesting enough to appeal to frag heads, yet it also manages to be crowd pleasing enough to appeal to the masses. Superb performance for me on this one, so no surprise that it gets so many comments. Based on the comments from you, my subscribers, this is the fragrance that women love the most. In my opinion, you can't really go wrong with any of the fragrances on this list. They're all great. If you're working with a smaller budget, you could go with Club de Nuit Intense Man or Male Le Parfum. If you've got a bit of cash to burn, then you might want to pick up Naxos and Side Effect because they are both incredible. What do you think about Sauvage Elixir being at number 1? Have you had women in your life saying that they enjoy it? Let me know in the comments. If you like this video, if you found it useful, give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.